It's an online training dedicated to young people who want to learn about flight operations officer, flight dispatcher career. You know, in each airline company, the nerve center, the heart of the company, is called Operations Control Center, OCC, or flight dispatch, if you prefer. People working there are in charge of organizing and managing the flights and all related operations as a whole. These are the flight ops officers or flight dispatchers. Their main task is to prepare the flight, to assist pilots and monitor the flight by following up weather conditions and any information which could have an impact on the safe conduct of the flight. Well, pilots have enough things to do and they cannot do everything in terms of operation. I mean, they have to stay focused on conducting their flight, and besides that, piloting the airplane and taking care of all the onboard matters, which in itself is an important role. They do need some assistance from the ground in order to achieve their flight. No. Air traffic controllers are taking care of maintaining separation of traffic and coordinating the air traffic flow, especially when approaching and departing airports, and of course along the route. Air traffic control is essential, to ensure aviation safety and smooth traffic, but they are not the ones in charge of managing the flights of an airline. A dispatcher, simply said, works on flight scheduling, crew planning, arranges overflight and landing permits where needed, and organizes stopovers with all the associated services needed, like ground handling, catering, refueling, and so on. This is the first stage. Then the dispatcher works on pre-flight planning, calculating flight plan and optimizing the route and flight level, fuel consumption according to the airplane mass, payload distribution, actual weather conditions, etc. The next stage is to make the flight crew briefing and providing pilots with the documentation they will need for the flight. Flight plan, mass and balance report, company briefing, weather charts and reports, and daily bulletins which we call NOTAMs, notice to airmen, etc. Then, once the airplane departs, the dispatcher's job is not finished. He must follow the flight progress and prepare scenarios in case of any event like an emergency, bad weather, passenger sickness, etc. In that case, the dispatcher needs to assist the pilot in command by providing all necessary information in flight in order to make the airplane divert to an alternate airport and to arrange and coordinate all services which will be required on arrival. In fact, it is a multitask role, and the motto words here are anticipation and quick reaction. Yes, it is. Definitely. This job position is very exciting and develops a lot of skills, but it is also very demanding. I've been working for more than 20 years in a flight dispatch. It was in a business aviation company based in Geneva Airport, Switzerland, and operating many kinds of private jets worldwide. The job was absolutely amazing and every day was different, since it was not like an airline with scheduled flights. So yes, indeed, I learned a lot, and I did probably more things at once than a regular airline flight dispatcher would do. By the end, I was in charge of providing operational feasibility studies and checking all legal aspects of the operations on a daily basis. That was really great. I've also been in charge of dispatchers training as well as implementing new procedures and processes. Yes, indeed. I wanted to share my knowledge and experience with the young people and introduce them to this exciting job position. So first, I've been called by aviation academies in Europe to provide this course in classroom for people coming from all over the world. I've been doing this during the last 2 years, and it was really exciting for me. You know, I like human relationship in a multicultural environment and, exchanging, sharing my experience, transmitting the maximum I can, etc. Giving and giving again. This is me. And of course, my best reward is to see my students having passed their final exam successfully. I really care for that. This e-learning is unique because many people who enjoy my classroom asked me if I could turn it into an electronic version. This seemed to me a bit surprising at first sight. Then I said, why not? And I found out this e-learning solution which allows me to provide a course the way I like to do it. You see, with not only text and pictures, drawings, but also short videos, screencasts to illustrate debriefings, quizzes, and so on. An important point is that as I am not an academy, but a personal trainer, my course cannot be certified. However, you will get the whole content of the Flight Ops Officer Flight Dispatcher training for a very affordable price, much lower than the one provided by aviation schools, but with a significant difference here. Most of the academies offer dispatcher e-learning modules, which are the same as the pilot training for ATPL. ATPL is the Air Transport Pilot License, okay? Of course, dispatchers share common knowledge with pilots, but we are not pilots, we are dispatchers. Therefore, dispatch training must be adapted to the job requirements as outlined by the ICAO Annex 6, but not only. It's much better if the trainer is an experienced senior dispatcher, which is my case. And in my online course, the trainees can interact with me, ask me questions, and so on. It's really a dedicated training given by your personal trainer and not a computer. That makes a big difference. SKY AerOPS e-learning for dispatchers is an initial course. I've designed this course especially for young people in emerging countries who would like to prepare for an aviation career in operations, but who cannot necessarily afford attending a classroom course in a European aviation school, you see, with all the extra costs related like travel and accommodation expenses, visa, etc. And what is interesting here is that they can purchase some parts of my training course separately, according to their budget. And once they have completed the whole training program, I can offer a final preparation for an official assessment exam that they can pass in an official organization, you see. At the end, this will be very affordable for them and will also save their time because they can study online from home or anywhere else in the world with internet access. Well, first, I think I would not be wrong by saying I'm probably the only one offering this kind of product. As far as I know, flight dispatcher theoretical training is either provided by aviation schools or by airlines internally. However, most companies don't have enough time to train employees from the very beginning, which means initial training is provided by officially recognized aviation training organizations, what we call ATOs, these famous aviation schools. But most of the time, this course is a bit tough, and this is the reason why I've implemented my own method by introducing new subjects in a simple manner.